talk a little bit about your experience recording with Steely Dan?
Yeah, it was great. It was for Two Against Nature, and there were several drummers recording, and we all played the entire album. Keith Carlock, myself, I think Vinny went in, Mike White went in, Sterling Campbell. It was maybe 8 or 9 drummers, and we all spent a week in New York. I mean, and they had us like lined up, and we were all staying at the same hotel. I remember the day I got in, the day I was walking in the lobby, Vinny was walking out of the lobby, you know, and we crossed paths like that. So, the actual recording was really it was Donald Fagen. He was playing Rhodes most of the time. Tom Barney on bass and myself. And the first day we cut tracks as basic tracks, as full kit, you know. And then the second day, I did just probably nothing but Tom Fields. And this was at the advent of like Pro Tools, and everybody was, you know, just starting to use Pro Tools, so they were big on it. And Dennis was on those sessions as well, and he hated the fact that they were just cutting into Pro Tools. You know, it didn't bother me, but they were isolating everything. So I do a pass with just cymbal crashes. Donald and Walter just wanted me to do cymbal crashes. I did a day of just hi-hat work. So it was broken up like that, you know, and I played like all 12 songs that ended up on the album. I played all of them, but none of us knew who was going to end up, you know, on the album. So when the record came out and went to Borders, I remember, and picked it up to see if I made the cut, and I made the cut, Two Against Nature, and that album was Record of the Year that year. So so it was a great experience, you know. And then I spent some time, I flew to Maui to do a project with Don Grusin, Dave Grusin's brother. But we recorded at Walter Becker's studio in Maui. And that was beautiful. It was like the control room was all glass. And it was up on this mountain that overlooked the ocean. And so I'm like cutting tracks, looking at the ocean. You know, it was great. You know, they were really easy to work for, but they were very, very meticulous, and they knew exactly what they wanted on every song, you know. So, you know, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Hey, Sonny.
Hey.
What's the best piece of drumming advice that you've ever received?
To remain humble, regardless of how good you are. And I got that from my mom. But I also got that from Ed Thigpen. When I first met him, you know who Ed Thigpen is? Younger guys don't know who he is. He's a jazz great drummer, right? When I first got signed, my very first endorsement was with Remo. He was with Remo. And I remember I did a little thing at the Remo booth at a NAMM show. And he came over to me, put his hand on my shoulder. He said, "You sound great." He said, "But as your star rises, just remain humble." And that has been the most priceless advice. And I mean, you know, my mom, she wasn't going to stand for anything other than that. So she drilled that into me as a kid, you know. So that's to me, that's the most important thing, because regardless of how good you are, if you're, you know, not pleasant to be around, people don't want to be around you. Yeah, and arrogance it's no place for it, because there's always somebody better than you. You know, so yeah. Not in your case. No, it's some cats. There's some cats. But I mean, you know, it's like it's all subjective. You know, it's like I've never bought in, even though I've been into competitions before. I've never bought into the drum battle thing, because it's not a battle. I mean, what are we battling for? I mean, you know what I mean? It's kind of crazy. I mean, you know, have you ever heard of a clarinet battle or a flute battle? I mean, you know what I mean? So I don't subscribe to that. Two cats can sit down and play music together on the drums, you know, and you can share ideas. Like when we used to share, I used to share a lot with drummers like people do now. And the whole point of shedding was to learn from each other, you know, like work on your groove and learn and share information and that, you know, not trying to see who can out chop who, you know. Because at the end of the day, I mean, you learn all of these chops, but the reality of it is, I don't know anybody who's getting paid millions of dollars because they got a gazillion chops. I don't know one drummer. If you do, tell me who it is. I don't know any. I mean, the most successful drummers that I know have become successful because they got that pocket, that groove, feel, and taste. And then when it's time to have some chops, they can give you that. You know? So don't build your career on having chops.